Welcome back to the shop, everybody. I hope you're warm. I hope you're well. It is freaking cold here. We have got a lot of stuff we're working on today. We got a lot of stuff done on the 56 GMC. Stuff looks pretty good, but you'll see that in the next upcoming, couple of videos. Today's focus is the 79 Trans Am. We are going to put the interior most of the rest of the way together. So right now, I have got the back seats all in, which you saw in the first video. I got some of this interior paneling in. We got the headliner most of the way in. But the main goal today is to get the seats in. We're gonna get the carpet runners in and get the kick panels and all that stuff in. So most of the interior stuff is wrapped up, and then we can call the customer and get the rest of the stuff we need. So before we do that, we need to clean Trans Am up, because I'm sitting in here, we've been sanding stuff all week. She is a dirty, dirty girl. So I'm gonna dust this off, get it cleaned up so I'm not rubbing along. It looks like somebody already has been. And we'll get started.
Yeah, so seductive. I'll take you to the candy shop.
Just in case you guys were curious what I was cleaning the car with, this is what we've been using recently. Just this Ethos cleaning spray. It works pretty well. We used to use dry wash, like literally for everything. We used to use it for cleaning up snowmobiles, race cars, all that kind of stuff. But we started using this stuff recently, and we really like how it looks. It isn't quite cleaned up yet, but just wanted to give you, if you guys were curious, what I was using to touch up the Trans Am. This is what we're using. Now she's all cleaned up. Not perfect. We're still gonna have to, before we deliver it, we're still gonna have to buff it one more time. We're gonna have to go back over it, trisac it again. There's only so much you can do with just trying to wipe it down and keep it clean. So just one last buff and it'll be all set on the outside of it. But let's get to the interior. So like I said, the main goal today is to get the carpet runners, the kick panels, and the seats in. So what we got now is we've got the carpet. I need to trim up just a little bit more. There's a lot of overlap there. I might not even have to trim it that much, because it has these carpet runners that go over here. And then you got the body by Fisher sill panels that'll go over that too. Get the kick panels in. This one's gonna be fun because you got to take the emergency brake out. Thanks GM, to get the kick panel off. And then we're gonna have to cut some holes in the floor for the seats. So first of all, I'm gonna get the carpet runners in. We'll do the kick panels and we'll do the seats last. Just so you guys know what I'm looking at down here, because I can't really get the camera down here to follow me along. I just gotta screw this little motor onto the side of the kick panel here, and it's got this little rod that needs to go on that stud back there. So this is where I have to mount it, is right here. And then this rod here sits on top of that other one. If you can kind of see it, focus, there you go. It just sits on top of there, and then once it's all bolted up, that's how it's supposed to work. Alright, I got the motor all hooked up. Now it's time to get the little motor cover on there. There's also a spring that I forgot to tell you guys about that hooks to the bottom of the motor that also moves that door. But we got that all hooked up, and you can't really see it because it's kind of dark. You can kind of see it a little bit. There's a screw at the very top of the kick panel there that's kind of a pain to get to. This is all hooked up now, so now we'll get the motor cover on, and that'll basically be it for down here. Alright, the kick panel cover is installed. It's kind of a goofy looking plastic piece, isn't it? Kind of looks like a little Togepi egg or something down here. But that's all done. And now what I'm going to work on is getting the carpet down here stuck to the floor a little bit more. As you can see there, it's not really stuck like it should be, but it's going to need some assistance. So for that, I'm going to be using some 3M carpet adhesive spray. Pop says it's pretty good stuff. I've never used it, but we're going to see how good it sticks. Turns out that stuff works pretty well, but man, it is strong. The carpet's laid down pretty flat. Up at the top, you remember it was kind of poofed out a little bit. Where you can see it looks really good is down on the sides, where it's not exactly flat, where it's a lot more vertical. I mean, there's a little bit of poofy spots here and there, but overall, I feel like that it looks really good. It really laid down nice on the side of the floor pan there. That's what I was concerned about. The last thing you want to do when you get into the car is just to be kicking the carpet around. But it laid down nicely, and I'm going to get the passenger seat cleaned up so we can get this thing in there. So as I was cleaning the seat up, I noticed that the upholstery wasn't folded all the way underneath the seat frame like it should be. So what I'm going to do is fold it, get a couple of vice grips and clamp it, and I'm going to drill some sheet metal screws through the seat frame on the other side. And that way it'll sit flush and the upholstery's not coming up every time you reach under the seat to move it. So I'll get this cleaned up and flipped over, and we'll get the back of the seat cleaned up afterwards. Alright, that looks much better, much better. Yeah, it's got some screws underneath there, but you'll never see them, and that looks way better in the front. So now I'm going to clean up these seat tracks and scuff them off and just spray some trim black on them. Yeah, they've got some covers that hide the bolts, but it'll just look better. Just so you guys know, I had about, 5 minutes of awesome vacuum B-roll, but it looked ridiculous in accelerated time, so you just get to look at the clean floor before we put the seat in.
One eternity later.
Alright, first seat installed. Man, this thing is coming right along. This took me a while to get the seat in, longer than I would like to admit. I also sprayed this afterwards. It was like the adjustment coil was all rusty and nasty. So I just put a little bit of masking paper down there and sprayed it afterwards, but it looks a lot better. And this thing is starting to look really good. Man, I'm just getting so excited just to see this thing finally finished. That's going to do it for today's episode. Episode? Is this a freaking television show? That's going to do it for today's video. I wanted to do a walk around of the Trans Am after I got it all done, but sorry, I'm not like trying to fondle you here, but I had to get the cable out of the way. I wanted to do a walk around of the Trans Am, but we had some stuff going on in the shop, so I couldn't really do that. But I feel like that it doesn't look like it got a lot of stuff done, but getting the seat in there, that was kind of a pain. I cut that. I was recording that for maybe like a half hour, and I cut that because it took me like a little over an hour to get that seat in there. Even if you drill the holes out where the bolts go down through, it's still kind of a pain in the ass. But we got the seat in, got the kick panel and all that stuff in. The passenger side, other than the door panel and like the little things like the ashtray and all that stuff I showed you guys in the last video, all of that stuff is all done. So we're basically done with the passenger side. I think next Saturday we'll probably come in and finish the other side. I hope it doesn't take as long, but I don't know if I said in the last video, but part of the issue with the kick panel on the driver's side is the emergency brake goes up through that, so it's kind of a pain, but we'll get it. I'm pretty excited about how this one is coming along. I feel like it's a body shop thing where it's like, oh, it's so close to done, but I really feel like we're getting closer, and just like getting it polished up again today and getting some of the interior in, it really shows that it's gonna look really, really good when it's done. So if you have any questions or comments on the video, hit me down in the comments down below. If you want to see me live streaming, I live stream here on YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday. We play a variety of stuff. Sometimes it's Destiny, sometimes it's Mario Kart. So if you want to come in, talk about cars, talk about games, just subscribe to the channel, you know, click that bell so you know when I go live. We got a lot of videos coming, so I'm pretty excited about everything that we're doing on the channel, and just really thankful for you guys coming in and watching everything. If you would, a positive rating would be very much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for coming and watching this stuff. I really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoyed it. Catch y'all in the next one. Muted out. I remember I bought the Batmobile on Rocket League, and I got my freaking ass kicked, and this dude messaged me, he's like, imagine spending money on a skin, you're still fucking trash. Like,
I mean, he's right.
Like, okay, it's like freaking $2. What do you mean it's just $2? It's not just $2 to everybody else. Typical streamer.